there's a tremendous amount of PTSD that one would suffer from that kind of a loss and that kind of an experience. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how long this specific chapter of your life was, but sort of after that, like, what did you do? Like, how did you cope with this and transition out of this sort of epoch of your life?
It's a good question, and I'm not even sure, but I did do therapy after September 11th. After going through like 10 therapists, I finally found one that I thought understood the depth of my despair and pain, and she was very understanding, and she very much wanted to help me with everything in her.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to help me survive it. And one of the things she taught me that I think became the most valuable tool that she taught me was to compartmentalize your grief. So I went in 2002, I left the mayor's office in New York, and on a detail, I went to work for the Secretary of Health and Human Services to help Secretary Thompson build a command and control system into Health and Human Services after the anthrax attack.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going back and forth to Washington, D.C., and I would fly. And so I would fly from LaGuardia to Reagan Airport, just under an hour flight. And I would always get in a window seat. And I'd get on the plane, I'd put the shade down, I'd put my head against the shade, and I'd put on like the Bose noise-canceling headphones. And as soon as the wheels lifted off, I would put on Andrea Bocelli's voice, because he was the voice that spoke to me. His music spoke to me in my heart. And I would put my head against the window, and I would cry, heavy, for an hour. But then when the wheels hit the tarmac at Reagan Airport, I lifted the shade up, I took off the headphones, and I tried my best to move forward and deal with life. And that worked for me. Now, she didn't say, this is what your compartment is, this is what time of day you do it. She didn't tell me any of those things. But for people that are in difficult places, if you can compartmentalize that pain and that hurt for some time during each day, and for the rest of that day try and do positive things, it will help you survive the pain and the darkness. And it helped me get through it. And then in 2008, 2009, when I got back involved with Mayor Giuliani and with the families, that gave me strong purpose again. So I survived by compartmentalizing and just trying to get through each day until something else came into my life that I started to feel really passionate about, and that I could have an impact on the families' lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really got me strong again, was getting back in with the families, and finding out that I had this voice, which I didn't know I had, and that it would help our community, and it would help us with the mantra "never forget," which we promised after 9/11. We promised everyone never forget, and as long as I have a voice, that's how I'm going to speak. That's what I'm going to speak about.
Did you ever experiment with any sort of like PTSD therapies, like cannabis or MDMA, or I know there's a lot of different things that people are utilizing, especially Navy SEALs. I talked to one guy who did a lot of stuff with cannabis and MDMA, and he said it helped a lot, because I know there's a lot, especially people in the combat veterans, who commit suicide on a daily basis because of PTSD. Yeah. You never experimented with anything like that?
So no drug therapy. I know it works for them.
Mm-hmm.
It was never for me. I've always been a government guy, so I'm not allowed to do like Not allowed to like smoke this or that.
Right.
They do random drug tests on you and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I do drink, but that's sometimes not the best thing if you're having a hard time. But back in, I guess around those times, around 2009, 10, I joined this group called Ride to Recovery, the Ride to the number 2 Recovery, and it's basically bicycling with 100 or 200 injured warriors, and and you do it for a week. You go out, you do 60, 70, 80 miles a day, and you build this community back and all that, and that helped me a lot. Just being out there, just being with people you could help, people who could help you, getting to know other people who are as patriotic as I was. So for me that was helpful without doing the drug therapy stuff. And I left room for new friendships and new relationships. Right? I said earlier I lost over 100 of my friends. I mean, that was basically my whole life. These are the men I hung out with every day. When I came back to New York, I went on a little tour for a while. When I came back to New York in 2005, I thought what I needed was to have new quality male friends. That didn't happen. What I wound up, without going too long into it, I wound up becoming friends with this group of Brazilian women, believe it or not.
Interesting.
Random. Right?
How did that happen?
I just was going to this Italian restaurant. Another Deborah, different Deborah, was the bartender, and she saw like the look on my face. She's very cute. She's very friendly. Brazilian people are very warm and loving. And she, I mean, she liked me, but she kind of felt bad for me, I think. And one night she said, I get off at 9:30. What are you doing? I said, whatever you're doing. And she took me down the block to her friend's house, apartment, and knocked on the door, opened the door up. There's an Irish guy with a baby, and he's like, come in. We go on. We sit down on the couch. He's like, sit down with me. We're bouncing the baby back and forth. And his wife, Lorana, another Brazilian girl, puts beers in our hand. And he's like, Matt is like, just wait. And they turn the music up. And the next thing I know, there were about 10 gorgeous Brazilian girls in this apartment dancing. And Matt's like, not bad, huh? And I was like, I like this.
That's fucking amazing, man.
And so these Brazilian women, got to know my story, and they wanted to help. They wanted to be a part of my life. And they took me to Brazil twice. They took me to their homes where they grew up. I met their families. And it really, taught me that I could be happy again in my life, and that unexpected things would come into my life. And it also taught me that I'm not in control.
Totally.
That he, the big H, I was reminded that he was still in control of my life. And he also has a sense of humor, because I thought I had to meet these quality guys. He was like, how about some quality Brazilian girls?
Oh, yeah. I don't think anything can be better than quality Brazilian girls.
Well, they...
drinking and dancing and
they loved
eating good food.
They loved me. They took care of me. They were with me every night. Go here, go there. Let's do this, let's do that. I was always invited. I was always a part of their team. And it really brought me back. But...
That's beautiful, man.
It is
that's
beautiful.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. And I'm still friends with all of them. They live all over the world, and I'm still friends with all of them. But in order for me to have that opportunity, to give that opportunity a chance, I had to get through the hard times.
For sure.
Every day, every minute of every day. And for me, it was music, Andrea Bocelli. For me, it was... my family, for sure. My family. I don't know what I would have done. I'm not married. I mean, my siblings and my mom and dad. But the compartmentalization Andrea Bocelli's voice spoke to me, and just trying to get through every day, the pain of it, and trying to do something good and be strong. I don't know, man. I'm glad I did it in the end, because I met these Brazilian girls, and then I met a bunch of 9/11 families who they weren't fire department families, they were other 9/11 families who I got close with. And look, in the end, I met this amazing, amazing Navy SEAL named Jay Redmond, who survived being shot 8 times, and is this amazing, positive, warm American hero, right? He is of the quality of Captain Terry Hatton and Captain Patty Brown and Fireman Chris Blackwell and Fireman Michael Lynch. Like, it took that took over 10 years. It's a long time. But I have another man who I admire, respect, who's my friend, and I feel very close with, and I feel he would have fit in with my friends if they were still around, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's 10 years, a long time to wait.
Yeah.
A long time to wait. But I'm so happy to be alive. I feel like I have great purpose.